Today in the crypto space, we're seeing some green price action in this market. Bitcoin up approximately 5%, hitting about $63,000. Ethereum up approximately 5%, also above that $3,000 mark, hitting 3,300 and change. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are deep in the green. We have Solana, BNB, Pepe, FET, and many others doing very well here in this market. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but I want to focus on Bitcoin today. I want to see what Bitcoin is up to. Where do we expect it to go? What is the probability of a pullback so that we can be buying those dips? So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's take a look at what's going on here with the general market, the top 100, the overall market cap, and then we'll talk about Bitcoin. Guys, usually I cover altcoins. I cover altcoins on a daily basis, but I think it is valid at this current moment to kind of just focus on Bitcoin, because as a leading indicator, it could be showing us that we could be seeing more strength to come in the general market as well. You know, I know when Bitcoin rallies hard, you know, Bitcoin takes the lead, you know, the dominance is in the Bitcoin side of things, but eventually we are going to see a bit of confidence in the altcoin market as well, as people get, you know, very bullish into Bitcoin, the position sizes increase, the profitability increases, and then obviously the redistribution or rotation of capital, particularly gains themselves, get issued into altcoins, right? Altcoins that have yet to run, altcoins that are, you know, lagging behind Bitcoin. And this is how, generally speaking, we do see the altcoins catch up to Bitcoin. And that's when we see the Bitcoin dominance fall. And that's when we get the altcoin season. So this is what we're trying to do here, guys, is prepare for a potential altcoin season. The market cap definitely doing well here. Market cap is rising to the upside. We see the overall market cap hitting 2.4 trillion. Very good there. However, the volume in the last little while, as the market cap was rising, we see the volume falling, which means that, you know, there's a bit of divergence there. Now we're getting a bit of relief to the upside. It could be that ultimately we're seeing the market, you know, change stances from bearish to bullish, and this could be that pivot. But if you look at market structure, currently Bitcoin is doing some great things from a bullish perspective. However, the way things are also positioned could mean that at any moment, and this is critical, if Bitcoin gets any resistance, this could be a confirmation for a continuation to the downside as well. So as we hit these critical moments, the reality is risk to reward ratios improve, risk management improves, and it definitely is an opportunity to be focusing on the Bitcoin price. So we'll jump into the Bitcoin chart in a second, but let's scrape through the top 100 first, just to get a sense of what's happening. Ethereum rising to the upside, BNB, large caps are doing great, Solana doing great, you know, a little pullback towards the end here, but doing fine still. BNB, in fact, is looking really sharp. Look at this thing, 6.8% to the upside, no sign of a pullback just yet, doing great stuff there. And as we scroll through the market, you can see that everything is pretty much rallying up. You know, Bitcoin did see some bullish divergence. We got very close to the 52K level, and that was enough. And then obviously all the bullish catalysts in the last little while, for example, the German government basically finishing off their sell-off, which means they have no more Bitcoin to sell off. And this is the thing here, guys, as we see sell pressure diminish, as we see, you know, a bit of fear in the market, you know, institutions and big players out there, they start start accumulating, and this is usually what happens. We get a reversal out of nowhere. This is why last week I decided to buy dips across the market. Guys, I made sure that I let you guys know some of the altcoins that I was buying, some of the projects that I was looking at. If you happen to be scaling in, just keep in mind, keep an eye on those charts, because as of now they are in the green, right? We're doing pretty good here. Chainlink rising, Polkadot rising, everything is rising. Near protocol rising, everything is bullish. Approximately, I would say on average about 6%. And the Ethereum based projects are doing very, very well, including Polygon or any wrapped ETH, of course, would be doing well. And if you keep on going down, we do see anything that is Ethereum based, like even Ethereum Classic, which is a fork of Ethereum, or Ethereum being a fork of Ethereum Classic. If you know the history, whatever you want, whichever way you want to look at it. Aptos doing great, Stellar doing great, and continue to the upside. Everything VeChain, guys, VeChain right now is doing absolutely amazing. Of course, Stacks is also. But given the fact that VeChain has been so quiet for a good while, hasn't been doing much, and obviously still a somewhat of a large cap altcoin here, we're talking about a 36% rally for VeChain in the last 7 days. So definitely one of the top gainers in the market, but nobody's talking about it. And this is the thing here, guys. We have to get used to looking for altcoins that still have bullish fundamentals, regardless of the market cap, and understand that eventually the market will be looking for healthy risk to reward ratio opportunities. And because VeChain was going sideways for so long, the horizontal gave us a clear invalidation. And because of the clear invalidation, people start saying, you know what, at least we're going sideways. Let's consider it a stable coin for now, with the potential that the bullish fundamentals eventually pick up and we start rallying to the upside. And this is what we're seeing here for VeChain, 36% for VeChain. I feel like it could do a lot more. Obviously, a really great project, very bullish project coming out of China. And we also are getting news that China itself, the Chinese banks, are investing in cryptocurrencies, Chinese cryptocurrencies. So this is bullish. That could also be a very bullish catalyst for the market, given that, some of these projects are, coming from China and that part of the world. So amazing stuff there. Lots of bullishness we got to keep in mind. Render kind of going sideways as expected, because it is a top gainer, guys. It's kind of going sideways, so people are starting to rotate and look for projects that have yet to leave the station. And if we keep on going down, we keep on looking. BitTensor waking up 14.3%. If you happen to buy some BitTensor, it hit that great horizontal. And if you missed out on my video 3 days ago, I believe, where I was setting you guys up for that buy opportunity, that buy the dip opportunity, what I would do is still go watch it, because it does give you a sense of, strategy. That's one of the things that we do cover here on the channel, is being strategic about both bearish and bullish scenarios, so that we were prepared either way. And BitTensor got its bounce off of horizontal, and it is a viable state right now to consider getting defensive on some of the gains, given the fact that it did rally up 14 and change percent to the upside. Bullish, great stuff for BitTensor. Congrats if you happen to get in on that entry, because right now it's doing very, very well. As we keep on going down, we do see a lot of the altcoins still continue to the upside. I get it that the Bitcoin right now, all eyes on Bitcoin, but as soon as you least expect it, we could see a bit of a flip here in the market, where we see some of these altcoins outperform Bitcoin and get that altcoin season. So we're definitely preparing. As you can see, lots of green, even Algorand doing well. If you're into Jasmine, it's doing well. Phantom, slow grind, obviously slow grind, nothing major, but still doing okay here. And as we keep on coming down, we have Say. How's Sui doing? I'm curious. I think I passed right through it, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, there's a lot of good projects doing very, very well here. And obviously, you got to pick your team, right? Not all of them are going to run at the same time. They're all going to take their turns. We're going to see some go sideways and stay quiet until they wake up. And that's when the rotation happens, guys. When your project is up double digits, take a bit of profit, trail up the stop loss, put those profits into a project that has yet to run, and keep on doing that. Just keep on going and keep on taking profit and rotate it into altcoins that still have great fundamentals and are ready to wake up and head to the upside. Obviously, based on Bitcoin, based on Ethereum's lead, based on the narrative that we are in a bull run and ultimately waiting for an altcoin season. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking very interesting. Why? It's because change of character on this downturn is definitely kicking in here, because we are getting a bit of structure that is suggesting that we could get that pivot. Of course, we're going to take a look at this in a little bit more detail. We'll take a look at the CME gap, because I feel like the CME gap needs a bit of attention given that the weekend was really green. All right, let's take a look at this in a couple of different angles, I guess. Let's take obviously bearish, bullish angles from a bullish perspective. The bullish perspective is obviously there. Nice rally to the upside. We got a bullish divergence. We got some follow through, which is great. We are above the 200 daily. Great. We closed a couple of daily candles above the 200 daily EMA. It's not the simple average that I use here on the channel. It's the exponential moving average that is actually quicker to respond to the price action than the simple moving average. So I appreciate it a little bit more. Obviously, some people use the simple. I use the exponential. You know, everybody has their own strategy and their own indicators that they appreciate. So the orange line is the 200 daily EMA. Now we do see that the price action is above, but if I start zooming out and you start looking at what I have, you know, the picture that I have painted here, it's the structure that I really appreciate. We had a huge amount of volume right into here. We had some sideways, we touched this level, we came down, sweep down to these levels, we came back down, and now we're back into structure, guys. So it only took a couple of days to get back into structure. I expected a bit of resistance right here. We got a little bit, and then we got a bounce, and we continued to the upside. Now, a lot of the magic is happening here is on the 4 hour, which is a bit concerning for me. Why? Because if you get in on the 4 hour, you got to get on the 4 hour. As you see that the daily, you know, got oversold. We got bullish divergence that we identified, you know, days ago, guys. Days ago, we talked about the lower lows on the price action, higher lows on the momentum, you know, with these lines, these, you know, diagonals that I always look at to kind of identify the divergences that are kicking in. And then we got an EMA cross here on the trend reversal. We got a green dot, bullish divergence, a very weak one, but we got one. And this is it. This is why we're getting the bit of relief to the upside, which is great. And this is why around this level, I started buying into the market. I started DCAing because I wasn't going to miss out on this opportunity. However, I do have capital reserved to buy some dips if we get them. And the dip that I'm going to be waiting for, now getting into a bearish scenario, is the bearish response. Are the bears going to respond, or are we going to get a V recovery and go right back to range highs to about 72K? Guys, that's possible, right? Hypothetically speaking, that is very possible. Nobody knows where the market's going to go. Nobody has a crystal ball to tell you the future, but probability, statistically speaking, we have a few bearish things that we could be waiting for. So the bullish scenario is actually playing out. We're back into the structure, back into the bull flag, and now all we really need is a back test of this horizontal or this diagonal, right? It's this horizontal support here at about 60,500. We back tested as a confirmation. We get that spring right off of it because we already came down and sweep the lows, and we failed. We basically swing down, failed the extension, and came right back up into the structure, bounce off of it, and then get back to range highs. So that would be absolutely epic. And guess what? Look at the fractal looking left. Look at how similar it looks, where we came down, bounced, dead cat bounce, came below the horizontal, came back up into structure. If we bounce off of it, guys, this is our perfect entry. This is why you buy a little bit here, you can buy a little bit here, but honestly, if we start getting a higher low, expect a bounce, a spring right off of it, and that is when you can get into a big portion of your positions and start DCAing. If you missed out on the DCA opportunity here, guys, we're going to potentially, hypothetically, get another one. So let's be prepared. So let's take a look at this from a bearish perspective. At the current moment, really, we are at a level where, you know, we could get resistance. Let's be real about this. We do have the previous high. It's a local high, I get it, but still it is a resistance zone where we can get a bit of a rejection and come back down. But the reality is the next level of support is not that far back, right? We have a support zone, you know, kind of dictated right into here. I would say 60,300. So in the short term, we definitely have a bit of room to come and test the horizontal again, like we've done in the past, or even this diagonal right around this area, or even the 200 daily, which is right around this area. So generally speaking, guys, we're in a zone. We see the structure being formed. Everything is tightening up. And I say that this area is an interesting one. Let me make it yellow. Let's not make it red so we can emphasize what it exactly means. And what it means generally when I put in yellow boxes, it just basically means like, let's just pay attention here. Let's pay attention to the fact that this price action in this level could be the opportunity to be buying in on the confirmation low, the higher low. After a bit of a follow through, we come down for the higher low, which is great. Let me get my pen out here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And then we get a rejection right here, and we come down for the higher low anywhere around this area, just generally speaking. And then we get the bounce back up to this area right here, which this area is well defined, right around $63,000, which is this high if it happens to get rejected by this high. Okay, so this is what we have to understand, is at this level, we have a neckline. We have an important zone for this potential pivot. Now, it does look like an inverse head and shoulders. I get it. And if we do not dip down too deep here on this confirmation low, this back test, guys, we could even be in a cup and handle scenario. Just keep in mind that a 0.5 Fibonacci is ideal for the back test, right? We don't want to dip down deeper than the back test, but a lot of this price action has to be taking into consideration the 4-hour, because you already saw the daily momentum and the trend looking very, very bullish here. So if we get onto the 4-hour, you can see what I mean. What we want to see is a potential rejection here, come back down and back test the previous dips so that we can kind of confirm a higher low. And it could happen anywhere in this level, and that could be your entry, and you can start to see that we're getting a nice structure. So let me make this a bit thicker. Let me make this bit bigger so you can kind of see how important this level is. You know, come down, come up, rejection, bounce right around this area. Again, if we bounce right around here, it does start to look like a nice cup and a handle. And then the neckline, guys, the neckline, that's clear breakout for the neckline, and then a continuation to the upside, which means that we're probably and most likely going to start hitting 72K, and that would be your opportunity again to get defensive, trail up stop losses, you know, take profit off the top, especially some of those altcoins that are, you know, pegged to Bitcoin, or any other projects that are bullish right now doing very, very well. So we got to keep an eye on that. So that's that. Let's take a look at the momentum. Let's take a look at the trend. You can see that right now volatility is very, very overbought. Sorry, the orange line overbought. The EMAs, basically the momentum is getting to overbought condition. It is in overbought conditions, and the expansion on the 4-hour is nice and green. And then all of a sudden, you know, we do see a potential overextended or overheated market on the 4-hour, which means that we could get a bit of a pullback any moment now. And right now, getting into fresh longs based on the 4-hour is dangerous. If you get in on the daily, just understand that you might have to endure your position might have to endure a dip based on the 4-hour time frame, getting these oscillators all the way oversold again. You know, wait for that reversal and then potentially get back to the upside and get another higher high if it's going to happen. So basically what I want to do is get my last entries when the 4-hour gets reset, right? And that might give me hopefully an opportunity to see the bearish response, how much strength the bears have, can they make another lower low, how deep is the retracement, and then based on that I can start deploying a bit of capital, and then hopefully on the next impulsive move to the upside we start to see a great move on the daily, because again the daily is looking bullish. Again, bullish. We want a bit of a reset, but these lines are based on the 4-hour, they're not based on the daily. Just keep in mind, okay, the reset, the momentum on the daily is really overextended right now. It's doing very well. So based on that, I also want to get back on the daily here for a second, because I did spot something. Is that the purple line right into here, you can see this purple line is way overextended the yellow. Okay, which means that there could be a mean reversion, and which would be exactly in tune with a 4-hour pullback. So these are all probability. All these facts that I am, or all this analysis that I'm giving you guys is meant to kind of weigh out your statistics, right? Statistically speaking, when we do see the purple way overextended from the yellow, we want to see the purple get back together again. right? And that tends to want to get a short-term relief. Every time we see the purple away from the yellow, we want to get back. When the purple gets away, we want to get back. When the purple gets away, we want to get back. So this is what we want to see, is eventually maybe the purple wants to get back, and then we get a 4-hour dip. And here on the daily, we see a continuation of the momentum eventually to the upside. But look what we see here with regards to volatility, very overbought. So it's a dangerous state right now, but we know that volatility can hang out here for a little bit. It happens, like even here it happened, right? It happens in bullish conditions where the oscillators hang out longer than expected in overbought conditions. So this is the thing here, guys. We need to be prepared for both scenarios. Now, one last thing. Let's get back on the daily. Let's get back onto the chart. Let's see the 4-hour momentum. Let's see if the 4-hour trend is doing great still. Look how nicely expanded this is. This is looking, the 4-hour is looking great. It's just too good to be true to get into fresh lungs at the moment, guys. That's the only thing that I'm concerned about, is if we do get rejected right around this level for that back test. So just keep it in mind, okay? So I'm going to get back onto the daily, and I want to show you the CME gap, guys, because CME gap is another reference point for a statistic. That's all it really is. Statistically speaking, guys, we could see the market pull back based on the gap. Now, what the CME gap is, basically the futures CME gap is, during the weekend, obviously, traditional markets do not trade. And in fact, the price is actually still moving. Obviously, we know crypto's 24 hours. And in that time, a bit of a gap of price action forms that eventually should be filled, statistically speaking. So if you look out on the daily and you try to spot all the CME gaps, just keep in mind the CME gap that I am referring to is right here. Right, this empty space of price action that happened over the weekend. We basically jumped from here to here without any registered price action here on the CME, which means that eventually, statistically speaking, the price should come back and fill it up and then continue to the upside, if that's what's going to happen. And if you look at every other CME gap like that has formed, which I'm having we have to look at weekends, but you get my point. If you look over and you start looking for other CME gaps, some of them are bigger than others. So for example, this one, a little bit of a CME gap right here. We do grind up a little bit, but eventually comes back down the price and fills it up. Now, sometimes they fill up, quicker than expected, and they should. Like CME gap, a little bit down, few days, bounce back up, fill it up, and come back down. That's usually what happens. Okay, so statistically speaking, now could we get it done sooner than later? Could we just literally roll over here, come down, fill it up, and then continue to the upside? Ideally, that's what happens. But of course, the market doesn't promise us anything. Just keep in mind, a back test all the way down to about $59,000 is very, very possible, so that we can fill up the gap and continue to the upside. Again, it doesn't have to happen. Probability is that it does, because based on the past, history has shown us that CME gaps get filled more frequently than not. So that use that statistic as a unit of measurement for yourself to kind of like figure out whether you think it's time to go bullish or bearish, because that's the only way you can weigh all your options. Okay, so think about it like that. Now, if you look back to the Bitcoin, the reality is, getting in right now is okay still, but you have to be able to endure a short-term dip. If we do get a dip at any moment, guys, then your risk to reward ratio definitely improves, and that way you can get in with a bit more confidence, with a bigger bag, and then ultimately wait for that recovery for about 72. Obviously, guys, I'm going to keep you guys posted here on the channel, giving you updates along the way. Whenever I see Bitcoin do anything, important, join the Discord. I'll definitely be there giving you updates along the way. If you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the chat. I'll definitely put them in top priority. Join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Join the Discord, guys. It's absolutely free. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.